Welcome back, Mark. So we did a new intro after about 2 years gap from doing the last set of videos, and quite a lot's changed, especially around the new applications. So one of them is SyncVM. Tell us a little bit more about SyncVM and how it can be used.
Sure. So there's three principal applications of SyncVM. The first is very fast restoration of individual virtual machines. So we can go back through a history of snapshots and you can recover a virtual machine from any one of those snapshots. And because everything we do on a Tintri device is governed by metadata, the speed at which we can recover that individual VM is incredibly fast. But the great news is if you choose to restore a VM from any one of the snapshots in the history, we preserve the history. So if, for example, you recover a VM, the data you really wanted isn't in that particular snapshot and you need to go further back in time or roll forwards in time, you can do that quickly and easily. So we don't delete any of the snapshots, you don't lose any of the history, so it's always preserved. So it's very much like how Apple Time Capsule would work from that perspective. The second application is really when a user's deleted a file and wants to recover it. Very common problem. So we can recover individual files or indeed whole folders, and the way that we do this is by mounting the virtual disk to a VM, and then you can browse through to the appropriate location where those files or folders are actually stored. One of the nice capabilities we have when you're actually using that piece of functionality is we have the ability to, there's a checkbox in there that says delete this or remove this virtual disk, I should say, after 48 hours. So if you forget to do a cleanup, it will automatically do that for you. The third use case is a particularly interesting one, especially for application developers. So DevOps environments will benefit from this massively. And the third use case is the ability to synchronize a virtual disk from a parent to a bunch of child VMs. So if you're developing an application and you make some changes, whether it's to the data, the core data set or OS disk or whatever it may be, what you can do is you can select, and again from any of the snapshots in the history, you can select to refresh, if you will, say SCSI01, you can actually synchronize that with any number of the child virtual machine. So any virtual machine that's associated with that parent, you could do a refresh on. So you're able to collapse the development cycles for application developers themselves. So it's a use case outside of the storage piece or what the virtualization guys would look at. It's very specifically for application development where there's a massive benefit with that capability.
What about automation? Is there any capabilities for automation as part of that process?
So automation is an interesting topic in its own right. So since we did our original set of videos some 2 years ago, we introduced PowerShell and a RESTful API. The commandlets that we create, it's absolutely possible for you to automate any number of features and functions. In fact, when we introduce a new version of Tintri OS, we will always update the PowerShell commandlets for the new release as well as the RESTful API, so that you can manipulate the box through your choice, whether it's through Tintri Global Center, whether it's through the VM Store UI itself, or using PowerShell or some third-party application and talking to Tintri over REST. So as part of every release schedule, we update the ability to automate, orchestrate any aspect of the Tintri device.
That's great. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.